Hey guys, welcome back. So it's Rowena here, and today we're gonna talk about stress and how it affects our skin. So in life, we get stressed. It's a fact. It happens to all of us. And while small doses of stress can actually be good and healthy for us, too much stress can cause really adverse and bad effects on our skin, and it'll show up in the forms of acne, breakouts, dry skin, dull skin, hives, rashes, eczema, redness, all these things that we don't really want.
And sometimes it's hard because you get stressed and then you get breakouts and then you see the breakouts and then you get even more stressed and you're confused because you don't know what to do with it and what's happening, and it's like,
hello darkness, my old friend.
But first, let's talk about why being stressed is bad for the skin, how it causes breakouts, 5 ways you can tell your skin is stressed out, and what are ways to manage and prevent these stress-induced skin concerns from the inside and out. And at the end, we'll share with you guys our personal tips on how we de-stress and make our skin look nice and flawless, or at least try to. Make sure you're subscribed and hit the notification button and turn all notifications on because you don't want to miss anything.
So how exactly does stress affect our skin? Basically, our mind and our skin are connected on so many different levels. A lot of our nerve endings are connected to our skin, which wraps around our organs. And because our skin is the largest organ on our body, which is the only organ we can see on the outside, when we feel stressed, it causes our hormones to be all in balance, and we produce excess adrenaline, which also elevates the production of cortisol, which is also known as the stress hormone.
so the first sign of stress on your skin is obviously acne and blemishes. Have you ever noticed if you're more stressed out that you get more inflamed skin and more breakouts? It's because when you're stressed, your body actually creates excess adrenaline, which increases the level of this stress hormone known as cortisol, as we mentioned before. Our glands are producing more oil, which then gives more chances to your pores being blocked. So the quick fix of acne and blemishes are 3 things: salicylic acid, charcoal, and also benzoyl peroxide. Salicylic acid is a BHA, which is a beta-hydroxy acid, which we've mentioned in a lot of previous videos, and this really helps to unclog the pores, which are right now, if you're stressed, producing too much oil, and it just helps to really purify the pores. So salicylic acid is gentle enough to use every day, while it will gently cleanse your pores, and I like using this in cleansers as well as moisturizers. Second is charcoal, and charcoal is really great for drawing out all the impurities, the dirt, and the oil from your pores. And you can find these in a lot of face washes, in a lot of mud masks as well. So the mud masks are actually my favorite. Whenever I feel that my skin is really oily, just really clogged and stressed out, I'll use a mud mask, and you can find these in Biore. You can find a ton of drugstore affordable brands that do these charcoal masks. So the third is benzoyl peroxide, which is probably one of the more intense ingredients for dealing and combating acne, but it does work. But you really have to find out and test it out first, because a lot of people can really react to this in a negative way because it is pretty strong. And it comes in like 2%, 5%, and 10%, depending on how severe your acne is. I tend to just spot treat this. I'll just kind of spot treat over the problem areas. You really want to be mindful of what you're actually eating, because I've found recently that dairy, sugars, and processed foods have really been the culprit of my breakouts. Dairy products actually have hormones in it, and when you eat it or if you drink it, it will actually react to your body, especially around that time of the month, you know, when you're like, and it will make your body produce more oils. And so this will obviously make you break out because of those added hormones. Processed sugars are just bad in general, so you should stay away from it. In drinks, I like to replace a lot of sugars with just honey, which is more natural. And then also processed foods are really bad because there is a lot of oil and a lot of preservatives in like batter, in like chips, anything that's kind of salty.
Dry and dull skin. Although stress won't give you skin problems, if you're already prone to them, it'll be a lot likely to happen and pop up during periods of high stress. Like me with my eczema, for example, It'll show up first on my arm, and you will be able to see there's still some battle scars and signs of eczema. The quick fixes for this are using hypoallergenic fragrance-free products because the lower pH level prevents further dryness and inflammation. I've been using Aveeno since I was 8 years old and honestly does wonders. I don't use any other moisturizer. And coconut oil also works really well. My cousin, who just became a doctor and is specializing in dermatology, really recommends Bioderma and also First Aid Beauty's Ultra Repair Cream. Products with hyaluronic acid are also great for your skin because it's a naturally occurring ingredient found in our bodies which holds 1,000 times its weight in water. So using products with this ingredient will help keep the skin nice and supple and plump with that H2O. Two great products are Crave Beauty's Hallelujah, as well as Glow Recipes Watermelon Glow Sleeping Mask. The long-term solutions are drinking lots of water, green tea, and lemon water. Mia likes to add lemon to her water instead of drinking coffee and tea. Felicia just injects herself with coffee. It's always a good idea to keep up your water intake, especially if your eyes are feeling dry. And while you're at it, keep your caffeine consumption under 300 milligrams per day. For you coffee addicts out there, 1 cup of coffee is about 100 milligrams, so that's 3 cups of coffee. And for me, I like to constantly have a cup of water next to me, and as soon as it's empty, I'll refill it and then drink it and refill it. And other ways are to get up and move. Physical activity boosts circulation and helps your complexion. When there's more blood flow to the skin, there are fewer toxins, less cellulite, and more alive, healthy, and radiant looking skin. Just remember to moisturize generously after taking a shower as soon as you can while the skin is still slightly damp to trap in that moisture. I like to take my lotion into the shower with me and apply it right after I pat dry while it's still steamy.
All right, so next, stress and anxiety can obviously play on our minds a lot. So all this kind of restless sleep and lack of sleep can really affect our eyes and how puffy and dark and just dry they can be. So some quick fixes for this is getting a really good eye cream, but there are so many eye creams and they're actually all targeted at different things. Some people have dry under eyes, some people have puffy under eyes, and some people have dark under eyes. And these are the 3 categories of eye creams that you should figure out which one you need to target. So my favorite ones for darkness is actually from Kiehl's. It's the Midnight Recovery Eye Treatment. It's pretty expensive, but I think it's well worth it if you have tired, dull under eyes. You know, that purpley tinge that just needs a little bit of some boost. You might also want to find a vitamin C infused eye cream if you have like dark circles as well, and this will just help to brighten it. If you wake up and you have really puffy under eyes, you know what I mean? They're like pillows under the eye if you don't have enough sleep or you've been crying or things like that. You want to get those eye creams that have like a metal bud on the top, and the metal bud actually helps your eyes to like decrease the puffiness, because anything cool that you put on your eye will really help the skin settle back in and help the fluids kind of spread out throughout the face. So another little hack that you might want to try if you have really puffy eyes, you want to get a cold spoon, put it in the fridge for maybe like a minute, and then just press it under the eye, and this will really help deflate puffiness. And then sometimes if you have really dry eyes, you want to find a really nourishing eye cream that's a little bit thicker in consistency, because they come in gel, cream, and also just like a normal moisturizing consistency. So you want to find one that works for you. So some examples are the Ole Henriksen Banana Bright Eye Cream, the First Aid Beauty Eye Duty Triple Remedy AM Gel. And then a DIY option for helping dark circles is actually using potatoes. Potatoes actually contain a skin lightening enzyme called catecholates. Not gonna pretend I know how to say this word. It helps to brighten the skin over time. Lie back with a thin slice over each eye and leave them on for about 10 minutes to allow the juice of the potato to seep into your skin. And you wanna do this about twice a week to start evening out your skin tone.
So one of the visible signs that stress causes on our skin is the difference in skin texture. Your skin becomes more coarse and bumpy as opposed to smooth, beautiful, bright skin. And the elevation of cortisol in our body also damages the collagen and elastin fibers, which are fiber proteins that keeps the skin plump and beautiful and smooth. The constant frowning and muscle tension that you have on your face will also cause lines and wrinkles and things that shouldn't be there. Obviously, the quick fixes is to exfoliate the skin, give yourself a facial. Steaming the face is also going to help improve the skin texture, as well as mask and awesome skincare. And that will definitely improve the texture and the look of your skin. What we need to do is really focus on the long-term solutions on how to actually stress less. You have to be mindful of your facial state. So you need to be mindful that you're not always frowning or that you're not actually putting extra stress on your skin. When you realize you're being upset or you're frowning, make sure that you don't and try to keep smiling.
Redness, rashes, hives, and eczema are all pre-existing skin conditions that could be intensified by stress. So here are some quick fixes for what we can do for redness, rashes, and eczema. For eczema, oatmeal baths are great, as well as moisturizers with oatmeal. Also, it's great to use a humidifier when you sleep. And there are also teas that are good for anti-redness and anti-inflammation, which are peppermint, chamomile, and green tea, which are all high in antioxidants.
For the last tip, we thought we'd take you guys a little somewhere more homey and comfortable to share with you our one tip of what can help you de-stress. It's important for us to be able to learn and identify what causes us stress. And to do this, 3 steps. The first thing to do is to sit yourself down when you are stressed or when you aren't stressed, it doesn't matter. Carve out some time for yourself, make time for yourself, even if it's just 5-10 minutes of your day. The second thing is to ask yourself, why am I stressed? Or what usually causes me stress? Is it usually work? Is it school? Is it relationships? Is it the past? Is it the future? What is it about school? What is it about work? What is it about relationships that's causing me stress? Try to go as deep as you can. Try to keep asking yourself questions to lead you to like the ultimate one thing that's like making you really, really uneasy. And then the third thing is to ask yourself, can I do something about it? If there's nothing you can do about it, then let it go. If there's something you can do about it, then focus on that. So this is definitely easier said than done. Trust us, we know from personal experience. But as with most things in life, the more you try, the easier it will become and the better you will be at identifying stressors and identifying what causes you stress before it happens.
So again, the best way to overcome stress is really to slow down, find some time for yourself. And I think by reevaluating and coming to peace with things and moving on can also help you just stress less about what's happened and focus on what will happen. At the same time, remember everything is temporary. Like, you know, those like pesky breakouts or you have acne and things like that, most pimples like scars will fade. At the end of the day, true beauty comes from within, so we should always focus on the inside more so than the outside.
I hope now you have a much better understanding of how our body is linked to our minds and how our skin is linked to our minds and how everything is just linked together and why it's important for us to not be as stressed as we normally are, because beauty starts from within, and to de-stress and to make sure whatever appears on the outside is good, we need to make sure we take care of our insides as well. So make sure you guys are subscribed for more videos like this, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye!